Tesla Q2 earnings with the live numbers. As they come in, I'm Brian. Welcome to my Tesla weekend. It's a big day. Earnings day is always a big day. And, there are two of you here. And I welcome you both, my friends. And I can say that you're my friends, because why else would you hang out with me? Quick thanks to upgrading patrons. William Wheeler and Nikola Tesla, back from the grave to support his absolute favorite channel. Yeah, it's an upgrading member who you haven't heard of before, because he likes to change his name from time to time. So this came out on the Tesla Motor Club forum today. It's neat. It's got all kinds of different estimates to consider for today. Hello, Empat, and hello, Chris. Yeah, that might be everybody. Not quite. Earnings range. Earnings per share on a non-GAAP basis, as low as $1.40 a share, as high as $2.18 a share. I always look at the long term. None of these things deeply concern me. We'll find them interesting. We'll have our numbers in this chart to compare. I know there's a site that likes to aggregate estimates. They reached out to me last week and asked if they could include our numbers. And I said, this is our first try. Let's see how we do. And if this is a feature that we're going to continue doing, then, yes, include us next quarter. I'll make sure you get the data. Hello, Jason. You can join this live stream. Yes. We have fun. We have fun around here, you guys. By the way, did you hear? Couldn't find a good source on it. Don't really care. Tesla's most bearish analyst is growing less bearish what he sees ahead. Now, in this quick summary, for those who are not subscribed, I'm not giving you money, barons. It's about our good friend Gojo, who has increased his price target from $67 a share to $75 a share. Might have been 68 to 75. And it's further proof that he is not sincere. Because coming off of the first quarter-over-quarter decline in a very long time, and all of a sudden it's worth 9% more, Gojo, really? It's worth more than you thought? So magical. So magical. Hello, John's Touchpad. Glad to see you here. So the numbers will be out shortly. I can hit refresh. They're not out now. They shouldn't be. They better not be. The market remains open. Of course, if Elon's on the call, I suspect those numbers will drop at 420. Because that's how we do. So what are we expecting? Well, deliveries were good, if a bit down, due to some difficulties in the Far East. Revenue should be all right. If you look at past quarters, the blue is the estimize range. The green, the little triangle here anyway, is Wall Street. And Wall Street consensus is this little gray bar. And then the green dot is where it actually comes in. Wall Street has a tighter range, and they usually are right in there. So while they're pretty terrible, generally, with production and delivery estimates, they have gotten better. Their estimates on revenue are better dialed in. I don't know why Wall Street even bothers with these things, because they're not in the business of giving good advice. They're in the business of giving advice. They're in the business of making you trade. Jason is saying, I guess Gojo's earnings per share estimate is over $2 a share, so when it misses, he can call it a busted growth story. Gojo is crazy. He is a busted nut. So where are we at? Yeah, we're looking in here. Maybe they'll overperform. It'll be interesting to see. What do you guys think? You know what we should do? I should announce this now. I have a giveaway. Yeah, even though there's only 14 of you here, I have a giveaway. Put your earnings per share estimate in the chat, and whoever gets closest will win a prize. And what is that prize? Well, you have your choice, my friend. The choice is a Hummer EV, a Lucid EV. Oh, look at that, Lucid Air. A Roadster. Can't beat that. Or a 4680 3D printed, non-$800 version. This is not a scale model. This is a 2-scale model. This is a 1/1 scale model of a Tesla 4680 battery with a logo added on, just for good measure. Just for good measure. You can pick which of these prizes you wish to have. Because I'm nothing if not giving and accommodating. Boy, did I click something? Uh-oh. So those are some great prizes. We'll announce that again in a bit when there's more people here. So we've got John's Touchpad saying $1.89 a share. Ben saying $2, $2.02 non-GAAP. Are we going with GAAP or non-GAAP? We're going with whatever it said on here. Non-GAAP. So whatever your non-GAAP estimate is, that's what we're going with. Whatever number you put is your non-GAAP. Yeah. Gojo nailed the earnings per share. Quite likely. Quite possible, Trevor. Oh, hello, Fail Train. Good to see you. I am having a pretty good day. Yesterday was strange. My wife almost bought a puppy from what, when we got there, we determined was a puppy mill. And there were too many red flags, and I said, we are bailing. And she was very upset with me. And then we got home, and she looked it up and found that about a half hour away from where we went, which, by the way, was 2 hours away, somebody had just gone to the vet with an identical-looking puppy that had parvo. So, bullet dodged. That's clearly a sibling. That was clearly a puppy mill. Those guys, and we reported the post and all that, but somebody else is going to buy some sick dogs. So she has taken my advice. We are only looking at actual certified shelters. John, how was my picnic last week? It was fine. It was great. It was, we got out after sunset, so it was starting to get a little windy, but it was great. It was that we found available picnic benches and all that. Canada Colin saying $2.09 is his estimate. And for those of you joining late, we've got prizes for whoever gets the closest on earnings per share. You get your choice of a Hummer, an e-Hummer, a Lucid Air, or a Tesla Roadster, which is super, super cool. Or a 3D printed 4680, which is, also pretty cool. So get your earnings per share estimates into that chat. Why wouldn't you? So what are we looking at? Yeah. Other expectations, shareholder letter. They generally share additional details, not just about the financials, but also important metrics on how the company's doing. While the quarter was difficult, it looks like it's already behind them, with Tesla reporting June was the automaker's best month ever for production. Shanghai went down for retooling, and it looks like they got back up from retooling much faster than expected, at least faster than expected publicly among those in the public sphere, and certainly a little bit faster than expected by those outside. Chris is saying $6. Jason Rogers is saying 105.6 rubles. Who is this? $1.94 a share is the estimate. Yeah. Fail Train says puppy mills are rough. It's so sad how all of the cutest things get exploited to the extreme these days. Hopefully I'm treating Bear well. I wouldn't call him one of the cutest things. He has his charm. I love him, but that speaks more of me than him. I don't know. Maybe. There was nothing but red flags with this guy. He gave us a fake address, and then we get there, and it's not a house, it's a farm, and it's run down and scary, and the dogs are dirty. He never gave us his name. The story of how he got the dogs was different than in the ad. Nothing but red flags. Fortunately, my wife permitted us to put it to a vote, and she was outvoted because my concern was, she said, well, I'll go talk to him. I go, it's not about the price. The price is not the issue. The issue is we bring it home. It's got parvo. The dog that they listed on Twitter, that the vet listed saying this poor lady bought this dog. She's facing a $1,200 vet bill. The dog may not survive. And we have other dogs. They could get sick and die as well. No. No. And you just can't reward that kind of behavior. The only plus side is we wasted an inordinate amount of his time having a private discussion off to the side. Realistically, probably 45 minutes it took us, plus all the time it took him to get there and deal with it and all that. So it was, puppy mills, the worst, the devil, the work o' the devil. There are ethical breeders out there. There are people who, especially when you're talking about those who are doing like, who show their animals in like 4-H. Those are actual breeders. And they do, from time to time, have animals available. So, So, some other notes. Tesla's poised to report its second quarter earning following a challenging quarter that saw the company's primary vehicle export hub, Shanghai, halted for over 3 weeks. Yeah, but it's fine because we're back up and we're stronger than before. Will there be another shutdown? That's a tough question. That's a tough one to find out. For those joining late, put in your earnings per share, non-GAAP. Non-GAAP, is that what we're saying? In the estimates below, let me double check. Because we got prizes. Non-GAAP. We got prizes. Your choice of a Roadster, a Lucid Air, or an e-Hummer, or a 3D printed 4680 with a Tesla logo. Pretty cool. Bit pointless, but it's nice to have the visual in hand of just how big it actually is. Because compared to other battery form factors, this is how much money I plan to make off my Tesla investment. Yeah. And the beauty of the 4680 is there's a finite number of batteries that a line can produce. So if you're making one that's slightly larger, you can move a little faster. Because, if it only takes 800 of these to make a car instead of, say, 6,000, that's an improvement. And, the tabless design, or as I call it, oops, all tabs, really helps with heat and a lot of other logistic issues that are kind of difficult. Barreled in Sad says, let's hit the like. Yes, would you? I would appreciate it. What else have we got? Our puppy literally showed up on our doorstep in a rainstorm right when we were looking for one that was a bit beefy to guard the house with the wife. Best decision to take that one in. Very cool, Fail Train. I wonder if we will hear anything about what their supercharger pilot for other brands is making and doing. I wonder if we will hear about that. That was asked, at least a bit, in the shareholder questions on Say Technology. So maybe we will hear about that. Let's pop over. Who knows? Maybe it dropped early and I just haven't heard back. The magic continues. So I did make my own version of this, which we will refer to when the numbers actually come out, so we can rank and score everybody on how well they did. So these are some great people. Gary Black, pretty good, at least well respected, even if you don't agree with his conclusions. Dave Lee on investing. What a cool guy. I've been a fan of his for a long time. I don't have to tell you about Dave Lee. You know who he is. I did get to meet him in Texas. Unfortunately, he didn't know who I was, unfortunately, because I tried to message him a number of times, but he has a very big channel, a very big following. He probably gets more messages like mine than you can imagine. So that's unfortunate. James Stevenson, who I had the pleasure of interviewing on Saturday. Rob Maurer, of course, everyone knows. Matt Smith, who I also interviewed, that was fun. He's with Good Soil Investments, the fund started by Emmett Peppers, who you might know from Dave Lee. The market is closed, so any minute we should see our numbers popping out. Tesla Economist, never really had any interaction with Tesla Economist. Troy Teslike, I follow, of course, but I don't know him. I don't think I've ever had any interactions with him. But he does. What I admire most about Troy is that he's not afraid to do early numbers. So when the numbers came out for Q2, within days he had his Q3 numbers out. And I saw criticisms that it's so far out, there's no way they're going to be right. And it's like, well, that's true. It's a fluid situation. It's developing. But he's telling you where it's at today, and he's making very bold estimates. And he's giving you a look behind the curtain. When most of these guys, the Wall Street guys, give you numbers, they don't tell you how they came up with them. And I'm convinced it's dartboard math. Now, on the financials, again, they're better than they are with some other things. But, looking at this, no listed Bitcoin impairment. If this number comes out to 0, and it's literally that there is no Bitcoin impairment, they've got an inside source who knows something we don't. And right there, it's an unfair advantage, man. But severance charge 0. The only analyst who shows their math who came up with 0 was Matt Smith. And I don't know. I think it's going to be higher than 0. Or maybe Matt didn't list that number, didn't break it out. That's possible. Let's see. Anybody heard anything about Sean Mitchell? He's still around. My impression was that he got a little burnt out with YouTube, and so he was focusing more on his real estate business. And he still makes some videos, but he's not as active as he has been. Daniel says, I'm glad to see you starting to get interviewed on more channels. So I've been interviewed on one channel. Apart from a year ago, when Bear's Workshop and I interviewed each other, Tesla Herbert is the first person to interview me, which is interesting. I reached out to a number of bigger channels back when I missed Q1 of 21 by 91 cars and said, I'd love to share with you how I came up with these numbers, give you some insight on the math I'm doing. And none of them were interested. So, I don't know. Maybe I reached out to the wrong people. Maybe my channel was too new. And interestingly, that interview with James Stevenson was picked up by Tesla Roddy, which is neat. Big shout out to Jonna Kreider. Just the best. She does great work. And it's an underdog story, and I always root for the underdog. I can't help it. But it's interesting to see. Maybe it only takes 2 years to earn your stripes. That'd be cool. I know when the question goes out, who is the best and who is good, my name comes up roughly in proportion to how many subscribers I have, which is not very many. Oh yeah, Lars does like me. That's true. Lars from Best in Tesla loves me. And he's a great guy. We will both, it seems, be speakers, special guests at Evolution 22 in Vancouver, Canada. More specifically, Burnaby. So, but Lars hasn't interviewed me. Lars doesn't really do interviews on his channel. But yeah, Lars is great. He's on another road trip. I think we're going to see some more fun footage from that. Nigel says, my voice should not be underrated. I appreciate that. When a channel's new, you get a lot of heat for it. Yeah. Ooh, last time I saw Sean Mitchell was on The Limiting Factor. I missed that. I somehow must have missed that. That's weird. Interesting. All right. Yeah, maybe they should listen. Maybe they should. I am not Canadian, Nigel, but I live just a few hours from the border. And I've been to Vancouver many, many times. It's out. They're posted. Boom. Let's go. Let's see how we do. Shareholder deck. All right. What are the highlights, guys? Operating cash flow, less capex. I can make this a little bigger. A little more readable, perhaps. Oh. We continued to make significant progress across the business during the second quarter. GAAP operating income, 14.6%. GAAP net income, $2.6 billion. 27.9 GAAP automotive gross margin. Was that one of the metrics? 26.2 was Wall Street. Ooh. Whoops. 26.2 was Wall Street. Whoops. We'll get there. Earnings per share of $1.81. Revenue of $17.1 billion. Revenue of $1.81. By the way, you guys can tell me in the chat who did get the closest, who wins the prize of a new, unopened Tesla Roadster, Lucid Air, electric Hummer, or 3D printed 4,680 battery. What do we got? Highest solar deployment in 4 years. I'm going to move this. I'm going to move this over here so I can see the numbers better. Jump to here. Let's see how we did. Actual. Oh, it's not there. Did I not write it? Actual. There we go. What was the gap, you guys? The non-gap. What did we say? Total gap. Earnings per share of $1.81. Is that what goes here? $1.81? Is that the non-gap? We can put it in. And for funds, let's see how everybody did. Oh, Matt, who's doing our numbers. MD Hofsty, baby, you're crushing it. Am I using the right number? Am I using the right number? Neat. Somebody find me the Bitcoin impairment, the severance charge, and the deferred. Somebody find me all this stuff. What do we say for this? Let's find it. $1.81. Hot diggity. Is that right? Wow. If that's right, Matt, you get a prize too. So are we finding? Let's just drag this over. Make it a little smaller. There we go. 2.6 billion. That's awfully good for a tough quarter for non-GAAP. Earnings per share attributable to common. Oh, right. But we need to count the whole number. Right? Or is it 227? Help me out, guys. It is 227 is what John's saying? Ooh, that would make Troy. Ooh. The GOAT. Is it 227? 2.27. That would put Troy real close, and everyone else way off the mark. Help me out with which number is which. What do we got? Earnings per share attributable to common stockholders, diluted, non-GAAP. That is 227. I think that is the actual number, isn't it? Ooh, that'd be magical. Ooh, Yeah, Troy does. Troy puts a lot of time into this. He doesn't waste his time analyzing the factory construction, but I enjoy doing that. Adjusted gross margin dropped from 27.9 to 32.9. Let's see what else we got. So let's see. Let's find some interesting stuff here, of which I imagine there's a little bit. It's frustrating that these numbers are not broken down by country, at least not here. Supercharger locations, all right. There we go, I see. Shanghai, they've finally updated this number. It has said more than 450,000 for a very long time. It was overdue to update it to 750. Berlin and Texas, more than 250. I agree. It puts us close to the 2 million mark. Cybertruck is not listed as in Texas, or is it? I guess it is. To be determined, semi, roadster, robotaxi, and others. Autopilot and FSD. Cumulative miles driven has taken quite a jump. That's nice to see. Energy storage, big jump. Solar, steady trend line. Nigel points out that upcoming price increases that have been baked in for some time will help the margin moving forward. Over a multi-year horizon, we still expect a 50% year-over-year growth in deliveries. We have sufficient liquidity to fund our product roadmap. Fremont, Berlin, very nice. And there's the car getting ready to be mounted down. That looks like a 2170 line because there are no seats. Paint shop. Beautiful. And I love how this picture, which was taken a few days ago, is desperately out of date because it's Tesla. Shanghai looking good. That's a very recent picture. You can tell by this building here. This huge expansion came on so fast. Great. So let's go back to the numbers. Anybody want to help me out here? We should try and find Bitcoin. We've converted approximately 75% of our Bitcoin purchases into fiat currency. Conversions in Q2 added 936 million of cash to our balance sheet. So they've been selling. That impairment may be smaller. Okay, what are the other things we need to be looking at here, folks? Boy, we're not going to find the Bitcoin impairment, are we? Let me know if you see that. What else have we got? The severance charge, I did not see it. The deferred FSD, we didn't see it. Auto gross margin, less regulatory credit. We can find that. Ooh. Automotive gross profit 41. Is it 41 minus 3? Is that what we're doing? Is it really? Automotive gross margin. What? Oh no, that's the year-over-year change, of course. Of course. Automotive gross margin, 27.9. Okay, we'll pop it in. 27.9. Let's see who got it. Dave Lee on the money. Not bad. James Stevenson within 1%. And Wall Street. That math is not right. How is that off? %. That's 1.2%. How is my math so goofy? Oh, all these are off. What's wrong here, man? Oh. Okay, ignore these because... Is this right? What am I doing? 0.4. Okay. Oh, I see. Yes. This is how far they were off. Not in whole percentages, but as a percentage of their estimate. Gotcha. My math worked. It worked. Let me see. I think this is the only other one we've got listed. How'd we do? Oh, no, we didn't have it listed. I don't have it listed. We have it. I don't have it handy. If Matt's in the chat, would you share that with me? Yeah, some good numbers. And it's just crazy to look at this and see how far off so many of the professionals are. How do you do it? How do you sleep at night knowing that you're making 400 grand to provide what can only be described as bad numbers? Bad numbers. And next quarter is going to be pretty insane. Fail Train says, good grief, I got too many audio streams getting into my brain. Nigel says, seeing more and more Model Y in Northern Ireland, despite its £55,000 starting price, likely leased business vehicles, but high-end vehicles, seen more than any ICE vehicle competitors of late. Good work. Good work, Tesla. Good work. So let's pop this back over. Automotive revenues, really good. Really good. 14.6 billion. Year-over-year growth of 43%. Regulatory credits, down a little. Not a big deal. Where's Gojo's prediction? I don't include him because I've never seen his numbers. Let's see. Automotive gross margin, 27.9. Very good. Total GAAP gross margin, 25%. Still, industry-leading margins. Industry-leading margins. They've got a lot going on here. Operating expenses, yeah, under control. Well under control. Income from operations, operating margin, yeah. Earnings before interest, taxes, deduction, etc., 22.4%. Billions in income. Billions. Remember, Shanghai was originally only slated to cost 2 to 4 billion. And even Gap, they made over 2 billion this quarter. They could buy another entire Giga Shanghai every 6 months and pay cash. It grew due to growth in vehicles, increased average selling price, and growth in other parts of the business. The profit was up because of increased average selling price, growth in deliveries, profit growth in other parts of the business, lower stock-based compensation, higher raw material, commodity, logistics, etc. impacted it negatively. There was a higher per unit fixed cost in Shanghai due to shutdowns. Bitcoin impairment, all that. Quarter-end cash equivalents increased by almost $1 billion. Tough quarter, came out of almost $1 billion ahead of where they were when they started. To 18.9 billion in quarter two, driven mainly by free cash flow of 621 million, partially offset by debt repayment of 402 million. As of the end of Q2, we've converted the Bitcoin. A lot of it. A lot of it. When did they sell? Oh, when did they sell? John wants to know, are there enough car carrier ships for Tesla? The ships. So I've been asked about the trucks, and the answer to the trucks is absolutely. Total vehicle sales are down. Are there enough ships? Because Shanghai is exporting more than they have been in the past? I'm going to say yes, because even though Shanghai is growing, their shipping to Europe is going to start tapering off as Berlin comes online. And the other destinations where these will be shipped are probably shorter routes. So they could make more trips in a quarter than they would if they had to go all the way to Europe. Total end of quarter operating lease vehicle count 131,000. Those cars are coming back at some point, hopefully, in a way that's still profitable when those leases expire. Global vehicle inventory in days, 4. 4 days of inventory. That's very lean. That's a number that is too lean. We'd like that to increase. Solar deployed, way up. Megawatts of storage, up. Well, it says down year over year, but up from the last 2 quarters. Yeah. Mobile fleet service, up. Yeah. Oh, if you can look at this and not get excited, I don't know, man. I just don't know. If you take into account more... let's read the whole thing. I'll just go through some comments real quick, because why not? There's not very many of you here. Let's double check, guys, who was the closest on the earnings per share now that we're using the higher number, the 227. Wow, beautiful. Beautiful. Thanks to large castings and parts consolidation, the robot count in our body shops in new factories dropped by over 70% per unit of capacity compared to our first iteration of Model 3 body shop. That's a good line. The good news is that those in Tesla YouTube are better than Wall Street, and Tesla not quite bankrupt. I agree. I bet no other OEM is looking so good. Oh, no. No, they're not. First of all, most of them are reporting falling numbers. And falling numbers, your fixed costs do not decrease. And so, yeah, when your numbers start falling, you can get into a death spiral. Yeah, John Yent pointed out, you know what else is up? By, what would it be? 20, almost 25%. Elon's number of kids. And by the way, I had heard that the reason Andrej Karpathy is leaving Tesla is so that he can have Elon's twins as well. Excited and buying more stock. I agree, MPAT79. Yeah. So, good stuff. Vehicle software, energy storage. Oof. And the Megapack factory is done. Those numbers are going to climb. Chris believes Canada Call-In won. Canada Call-In, if you are the closest, let me know in the chat which of these 4 fantastic prizes you would like. And then you can, DM me on Twitter with your address so I can mail you either a 3D printed 4680 replica battery cell or your choice of a Roadster, Lucid Air, or e-Hummer. That's the prize. That's what you get for being here on the smallest live stream, the most exclusive, the best kept secret on YouTube. All right. Well, I think we'll go ahead and wind it down. What are we at? Yeah, 40 minutes. That's plenty long enough. I gotta get lunch, man. I don't know if I'm going to cover the earnings call. I think I'll just listen to it. I can't compete with the big dogs. I've done it before. I add commentary. I don't know. It's tough to compete with channels that have been established years longer than mine. They've earned their position. Chris says, earnings per share isn't that much of an importance to me as I'm a shareholder. I'd rather have Tesla keep investing in research and additional production for a better future, that is. I agree. Absolutely. I've had people ask me, what's the stock price going to do next week, next month? It's like, buddy, if it was knowable, as James Stevenson said, if it was knowable, the algorithms would already have predicted it and rendered it not knowable. Am I doing the call? I don't think so, Paul. I think there's too much competition in that space. I can, if you guys want me to. Let me know that. Do you want me to cover the call as well? I'll just hang out, add commentary on screen. I can do that if you'd like. John says, if I'm in Burnaby, Brian will deliver personally. Yeah, that's true. And, you know, I am in the greater Northwest area. If anyone wants to visit sometime, that's a thing I have done in the past. So, Nigel says, I own 15 Tesla. All Hot Wheels. Not quite to scale, but not bad. Since I invested in my Tesla Hot Wheels, they have doubled in price. Aha. That's quality money. Till you count shipping. That's where they get you. Oh, good job, Tesla. Good job. Yeah. Okay, I'm getting enough interest in it. I will cover the call. I will be back in, what is that, an hour? 2 hour? Well, then I better get some lunch. So yeah, I will, and I will announce that one. All right, I'll see you guys in a couple hours. What did I miss? What did I misunderstand? You know the deal. You know the deal. Let me move this out of the way. You know the deal. Big thanks to my patrons, who are very oversized right now, who quite literally make the channel happen. Without them, there's no channel, because YouTube pays very poorly. So, yeah, Empat, Nigel, Casey, yeah, Paul, I guess I'll see you guys shortly. So stay tuned, stay juicy. Can't wait to hear from you clever robots shortly.